right, let me ask y'all a question. If you had the chance to live forever, would you? I want y'all to comment right now. Let me know. If technology advanced where you could die and they could just bring you back, would you want somebody to revive you from the dead? I want to know. Comment right now. I want to know, because we're going to be talking about a technology called cryonics.
We're going to protect the cells and we're going to store the patient at extremely cold temperatures where they can have a chance of being revived in the future with more advanced technology.
So imagine a world free of disease, death, and aging. There's a company in Scottsdale, Arizona called Alcor. Now, Alcor, on their website, they talk about preserving life. It says that cryonics is the practice of preserving life by pausing the dying process using sub-freezing temperatures with the intent of restoring good health with medical technology in the future. They say on their website that cryonics sounds like science fiction, but it's based on modern science. Life can be stopped and restarted if its basic structures can be preserved.
Cryogenics, the process of freezing a person after they die in hopes that science in the future will be able to bring them back. It first made headlines when baseball legend Ted Williams' family had his head frozen.
All of this happening out of the Alcor facility in Scottsdale. And years later, despite some bad publicity, Alcor says it's thriving. And more people are having themselves frozen for the future.
Christy Siefkin, Fox 10's Christy Siefkin, got an inside look at the Alcor facility. Christy, that's quite interesting access to get.
Absolutely. A very interesting tour. And in fact, it is open to the public. Anyone can go by and tour Alcor's facility. And this year, Alcor Life Extension in 2014 preserved a record number of people, or what they call patients. And then in this year, Alcor completed the longest distance international preservation ever. This cryonics facility has members young and old, some of them from Arizona and many others from around the world. Many sign up hoping that future technology will bring them back to life, figuring out a way to bring their frozen bodies into the modern day.
Garrett Hirschleb never leaves home without his Alcor bracelet.
It says, if you find me dead, put me on ice and call this number.
When Garrett dies, he'll be cryopreserved, his brain frozen in liquid nitrogen until science discovers a way to bring him back to life.
So people think that when you die, you're dead. That's not the way it is at all.
Dr. Max Moore is the president of Alcor Life Extension Foundation in Scottsdale. Alcor has members from all over the globe, as old as 101 and as young as 2.5, like this little Thai girl who recently died from brain cancer. Moore says the process of cryopreserving is solidly backed by science.
Now, it's been done successfully with a rabbit kidney, where that's been cryopreserved, reimplanted in a rabbit, and it's functioned.
Moore calls Alcor an extension of emergency medicine, starting the moment a person's pronounced dead and placed in this ice bath.
Basically restarting breathing, restarting circulation. We're also running cold water over the head because we want to cool the brain as quickly as possible.
Next, blood is replaced with medical-grade antifreeze, and the patient's temperature slowly dropped below 100 degrees Celsius.
We're vitrifying, which is really the forming of this block of resinous glass material.
All 135 of Alcor's patients are stored inside these doers in this one room. About a third of them have chosen to have their entire body preserved. 2/3 of them have chosen to be neuro patients, preserving just their head.
So basically you're going to end up in this container, and that will be filled with liquid nitrogen, and you'll be secured in that.
Inside these giant thermoses, patients are preserved indefinitely and can even be joined by their pets.
We currently only offer that to members, the idea being that you want someone to take care of them when they come back.
Some members plan to bring family back too. Moore's wife will join him at Alcor, and Garrett's wife, she's a different story.
She thinks I'm pretty crazy, and she thinks, oh yeah, whatever.
Alcor makes no guarantees about future revival, but for some, the thought of another go at life is promise enough.
I think of it as grasping at straws, but even a small chance is better than no chance.
Alcor charges $200,000 if you choose to preserve your entire body, and then $80,000 if you just want to preserve your head. Alcor says most members pay for the service through their life insurance policy. And if you're interested in being cryopreserved and you're single, there's a convention coming up in Las Vegas in May to help you find a like-minded soulmate.
Did you get anywhere near Ted Williams?
If we did, I didn't know it. We obviously, for the sake of preserving people's identities, didn't open up any of the chambers.
That put them on the map.
I
It really
absolutely
Yeah,
did.
I'm really curious about this singles party that you can meet. They want you to meet somebody who's also kind of on board with this.
With this
Are
lifestyle.
there a lot of
thought.
singles that they've got going to this?
What was interesting, the gentleman we talked to who is a member, he very openly said, I'm choosing to do this. I have a very technical mind. I do technology as my career. I believe science just hasn't figured out a way yet. My wife is a Buddhist, and she doesn't believe that my body or her body will be brought back to life. So they're a couple who obviously is choosing different paths, but I imagine there are couples out there that think we love each other this lifetime. How about another?
One more time. How many in there right now?
Over 136, right. And obviously, since people continue to sign up, that number grows and grows. This last year, 13 people passing and then being added to their facility there.
And even a 2-year-old girl.
Yeah, 2-year-old little girl from Thailand.
Thank you.
Very interesting.
You're welcome.
So right now, Alcor has 245 patients that are being frozen right now, but they have 1,443 members. So people are preparing to be froze once they die. And some insurances will pay for this. Alcor was incorporated in California in 1972 by Fred and Linda Chamberlain. Fred is now cryopreserved at Alcor. You can get your pets preserved. There's a lot of people who have a very deep connection with animals. You can get your pet's whole body preserved or the pet's brain cryopreserved.
Is it science or more like science fiction? There are scientists working on the idea of freezing a body with the hopes of someday bringing it back to life. ABC Action News anchor Lauren St. Germain shows us how animals are now becoming a big part of this unorthodox form of being laid to rest.
It may look and sound unconventional.
Each patient is in an aluminum pod like this.
Metal pods instead of a casket or an urn. 186 people from around the world have chosen this facility in Arizona as the place where their bodies will lie and rest after a process called cryopreservation.
The idea of cryonics is if you can protect the cells, take the body down to super cold temperatures, minus 320 Fahrenheit, that will stop everything.
Frozen until someday science advances enough to thaw them back to life. You can see some of their faces and read their stories on the walls of the Alcor Life Extension Foundation office. We noticed they're mostly white males, and we're told most of them are scientists or researchers, all highly educated. There's also a science fiction writer from China and a 3-year-old girl with brain cancer from Thailand.
We don't call them bodies, we call them patients, because I really do see these people as in something like a long-term coma, but just with no metabolic activity.
All preserved in metal tanks filled with liquid nitrogen in super freezing temperatures below minus 300 degrees Fahrenheit.
The standard models, we got 4 whole-body patients and a bunch of neuro patients.
It's not just people preserved in these containers, but also pets. 86 animals cryopreserved in this facility, mostly cats and dogs, but there's also a chinchilla, a turtle, and a rhesus monkey preserved here. So why? Alcor members strongly believe science will someday find a way to unfreeze these pets and bring them back to life.
If you love an animal, why not have it come back with you in the future, assuming that this will work?
Dr. Moore says he doesn't believe he'll live to find out if this medical technology would ever work.
We make very clear about that. We're not guaranteeing anything. We don't know if this is going to work for sure. We don't know if the organization will survive. There's all kinds of ifs and buts.
But in the name of science, he's ready to donate his own body to research right alongside his golden doodle Oscar, who's already cryopreserved in a container.
So I hope my dog Bella lives on in real life forever, but if you want to cryopreserve your pet at the facility in Arizona, it's about $200,000 and significantly less if you just want to do their brain. Lauren St. Germain, ABC Action News.
Now, y'all probably wondering, how is all this stuff even possible? You have to watch my video, Transhumanism, because if you watch that, that's like the beginner video for you to really understand what type of technology we're dealing with. All right, so go watch that video where I discuss transhumanism. I talk about nanotechnology. I talk about nanobots. I talk about nanomedicine. I talk about the technology that is being used to be able to make any of this possible. For them to be able to bring somebody back to life, they have to use nanotechnology. Now, Alcor does have a list of non-confidential cryopreserved Alcor patients where you can actually go on their website and you can see people that are actually right now being frozen right now to come back in the future. Now, what caught my eye, there was a little girl who was actually cryopreserved. This little girl was a Thai little girl. She was Alcor's 134th patient, and she was pronounced legally dead on January 8th of 2015. She was pronounced dead in Bangkok, Thailand. The same day, the little girl's brain was cryopreserved. And she is Alcor's youngest patient. She was less than 3 years old at the time of her cryopreservation. So she was diagnosed with a rare form of brain cancer. Her parents were both doctors. They did a lot. They went to great lengths to find an effective treatment for her. They tried chemotherapy, radiation, many different things, and she ended up passing away, and they wanted to give her another chance at life.
Believing that if she were preserved through a process called cryonics, at some point it might be possible for her to live again.
There's so many different movies that we have seen over the decades that has something to do with brain connection with computers, mind uploading, and we all just think it's a movie. We all just think it's sci-fi. It's just for entertainment. When in reality, it's not just for entertainment. Some of these movies have a little bit of truth to them. There's a series on Amazon. It's called Upload. It came out in 2020. And basically, this show is about being in the year 2033, where people have the ability to upload themselves to a virtual world after their death. So, y'all, I want to know, if you had the opportunity to come back to life, being cryopreserved, if you could freeze your family, your pet, would you do it? Comment below, because I want to know, y'all. I really, really do. But that being said, y'all, I'm going to be starting a podcast. It's going to be dropping next month. I don't know exactly when, but it's called Retro Truths, the 90s Illuminati. Okay, and I'm going to have the link so you can at least know when I'm about to do my first episode, and you can follow me. I'm going to be talking about a lot of deep stuff on Retro Truths, the 90s Illuminati, because I believe in the 90s, we discussed a lot about what was going to happen right now. So make sure y'all check out my podcast, Retro Truth, the 90s Illuminati. I'm going to have the link in the description, y'all. But yeah, y'all, is times are getting crazy. Times are getting crazy. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like this video. And y'all, I want to know, again, if you could bring yourself back, or your family, or your pet, would you do it? I want to know. Comment below, y'all.